Hi, and welcome to the Watson Ranch. I'm Ann Watson, home chef and a woman who wears many hats. I just completed an amazing kitchen renovation project partnering with PIRCH, and I have life-changing, life-altering, incredible appliances that I'm so excited to cook one of my favorite recipes on with you today. So we're going to be diving into something that I like making on a regular basis. It's sort of a weeknight meal, easy. Again, I'm a home chef, and so I try to keep it real, keep it accessible. And what this is going to be is a veggie, or vegan actually, taco bowl. Because really, when you live in Southern California, is there anything better than tacos? So the first thing that we're going to start with is tofu. And now I know tofu gets kind of a bad rap here, but let me tell you, tofu is one of my favorite ingredients because it's so versatile. It's packed with protein, which is great if you're needing that in your diet, but it really takes on whatever flavors you want to impart. This right here is something that a lot of vegans probably immediately recognize, but for those of you who don't know what the heck I'm doing, it's called pressing tofu. I've had this going on for about 15 minutes now. When you take tofu out of the oven, or out of the fridge rather, you need to get some of the excess moisture out of it. So what I do is I place it between two cutting boards and two sets of paper towels, and you let that moisture come out before you start working with it. So that is what this is. And so all we're gonna get going here is cutting this beautiful tofu into some nice 1-inch cubes that will be super tasty once we get them spiced up. And we're gonna place them in a bowl and try not to let them run away. You must be spiced. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is make our spice mix. And this is super easy. Today we're using cumin. And this is one of the easiest spice mixes because I just use equal parts everything. So you don't have to remember. You can make it in a big volume or a small volume, whatever you want. I'm just gonna make it enough for this recipe, so I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon-ish of each spice. So there's cumin, coriander going in. Then we're going with chili powder. I do a little extra chili powder because I like a little spice. So we're not totally exact here, let's be honest. Especially if you're making this after like a long day at the office. Just go easy on yourself and use whatever amounts feel good. Smoked paprika going in. Little onion powder going in. And oregano. And then you don't want to forget a little salt and pepper as well. So I have this handy dandy drawer down here under my induction cooktop because you can even fit a drawer under your induction cooktop. How cool is that? There's knives and all my essentials right under my cooktop. Not something you can do with your average range. And then some fresh ground pepper. Going in, give that a little stir. And what I like to do, we're gonna toss all this tofu with a bit of olive oil, generous drizzle. And I like to use about 1/2 of the spice mix because we're gonna use the other 1/2 for some amazing mushrooms that we're gonna have going on in a little bit. All right, let's let this chill for a sec. All right, great. So now we've had our tofu marinating nicely with some olive oil and our spice mix. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna toss it on a nicely parchment-lined prepared baking sheet here. Lay this out evenly in a single layer. Put that in my Franck sink that I love. And we're gonna put this in the oven. I have it in the Viking range on convection bake setting because there's lots of different settings, and I have found that beautiful convection bake setting helps circulate the air around the tofu and crisp it up perfectly. Normally with other ovens, you have to go in and like toss this around a little bit before you take it out of the oven. I'm just gonna put it in and leave it and let the Viking do the work. So here we go. All right, so for the base of a bowl, everybody loves a good rice, and I love cilantro lime rice. But also a lot of us, especially in SoCal, we're a little bit carb conscious. And so another way that I like to sneak some nutrients into the recipe is what I do 50-50 is what I call it. It's a 50-50 breakdown of half cauliflower rice, half sticky rice. So you're still getting the texture of the sticky rice, but you're sneaking in the nutrients of the cauliflower rice. And let's be real here. I don't know about you, but after a long day, I am not gonna bust out an entire head of cauliflower and break it down and put it in my food processor and turn it into rice. I am going to use frozen. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm also going to use pre-cooked packet of white rice. So we are going to prepare our cutting board because all we're gonna need to cut for this is the cilantro and the lime. And we're gonna use our Thermador Liberty induction range for this recipe. I'm gonna show you what's so cool is that I'm a mom, and I know many parents out there get a little bit freaked out at the idea of an induction range, like, oh no, what if my kid can turn it on by themselves when I'm not looking and hurt themselves? And I had a little bit of that fear because I have an 8-year-old who's quite adventurous and likes to drive Hot Wheels around the island. But what's really cool is that Thermador, this range, has a lock feature. So in order to turn it on, I'm gonna turn it on, and then I'm gonna hold down the lock button, 5 seconds, until she turns on. Boom, it's so beautiful. Kind of get that heating up, again, with a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Okay. And while that's warming, I'm gonna do the super challenging job of cutting a lime in half and taking a nice chunk of cilantro that we're gonna chiffonade. No, just kidding. We're gonna chop roughly. Then the first step is going to be to open our cauliflower rice and pop that in the pan. Listen to that. It's already sizzling, which is amazing. This is another feature of induction that I find so incredible, how fast it heats. There's none of the waiting around. It's incredible. So I put about half a packet. I'm going to say this is about a cup, 1 cup of cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice has been heating up really nicely. It's getting a good golden color, but now right before I add the next ingredients, I'm gonna pump up the heat to almost high, medium high. We're up to number 8 on the induction here. And you'll hear almost instantly that it starts to really sizzle to caramelize that cauliflower. Again, just something I just love about induction is the instantaneous way that you're able to control temperature. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add in the juice of a lime, and we're gonna season this nicely. Again, with my salt kept in the drawer that I'm able to have under my nice slim profile induction oven, or stove rather. Now we're gonna break out the rice. And again, I'm gonna add about a cup or so of this rice. Get your hands in there if you need to. It's pre-cooked, which makes this even faster. And last but not least, we're gonna add in our cilantro. Okay. Give that a nice stir. And when you hear it sizzling nicely, oh, it smells so good. We need smell-o-vision. This is amazing. If you're like me, I am notorious for getting something going on the stove and then having a moment of total distraction, walking away and going, oh my God, I completely forgot that I left that on the stove and it's burnt to a crisp or the pasta's turned to soggy mesh. And so what this has is a cook timer. Oh my God, it's so cool. I want this to cook at this temperature for about, let's say 3 minutes. I literally put that in, I hit cook timer, 3 minutes, and we're off. And after 3 minutes, this will turn itself off. It's cooking for me. It's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love Cuban black beans. They have a nice sofrito. It has like a little bit of bell pepper, onion, good flavor to them. So they're already seasoned. So what I love to do is I love to strain them so that you get the beans and not the sauciness. So I'm just gonna come over here to my beautiful Frank sink, strain out the liquid, and then place these in the pan. And I'm gonna do these at a nice low simmer, number 3. And I love this because simultaneously I'm watching. I would have forgotten by now. I would have gone, oh God, how long have I had that on for? But the thermidor is thinking for me and it's saying, Anne, you have 10 more seconds and then we're gonna turn the heat off on this because that's done. Amazing. That's what we're doing. And I've got the heat on the beans. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, thermidor. So cool. All right, and then it's just gonna keep that nice and warm. I'm gonna heat up the beans. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna let this amazing induction cooktop think for me because clearly I need all the help I can get. Let's do cook timer. I'm gonna say I'd like to heat these for about 4 minutes at medium. Cook timer, cooking, done, sorted, okay. About 3 minutes left. I'm gonna check on the tofu very quickly just to see how we're coming along here. Oh my God. Amazing. It looks beautiful. Okay, so that gives us time to go ahead and prepare our shiitake mushrooms and sweet corn. And I'm gonna do something that I know many people find sacrilegious, but I've seen how they grow these and they're grown in poop. So I'm gonna wash them in my sink. That is what we're gonna do. We're washing our mushrooms just gently, giving them a quick little rinse. And look at that, nothing exploded. The mushrooms are fine and so are we. And we're gonna chop these into nice slices. Ooh, okay, that's my Viking range. It's telling me right now that I have 1 minute until my tofu is done. I love it for reminding me when I need a gentle reminder. I'm gonna place these strips into a bowl, give it a little drizzle of olive oil, and then I'm gonna take the rest of our spice mix, put that right over the top, and get my hands dirty. Give those a nice toss. Okay, give my hands a rinse. Ah! I totally planned that. Amazing. Gonna get the tofu out of the oven. This looks amazing, if I do say so myself. Listen to that. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Oh, and I did nothing. You saw that. I put it in the oven. I left it alone. It told me when it was done, and it's perfect. I love you, Viking. You're amazing. Who knew that like an oven could make such an amazing difference in how you cook? All right, so with the mushrooms, I'm actually going to be utilizing my best hood that I got with PIRCH. Okay, this is it on high. I don't know about some of you, but hoods traditionally frighten me because they can be so loud. And this is incredible, the strength that this has, but without sort of disrupting your entire kitchen. All right, so now what we're gonna do is get the black steel pan on here. I'm gonna get this heated up nice and hot. And for this, because I'm cooking with higher heat, I'm not gonna go with olive oil. I'm actually gonna bust out some coconut oil because it still smokes, but not quite as fast. A little bit of a higher smoke point on coconut oil. And I just like the flavor. Gives you long, luxurious hair. I'm just kidding. All right, so we're gonna let this heat up, which is gonna take next to no time at all. And we're gonna be putting our mushrooms in the pan first. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's already starting to smoke. I wish that I had timed that because that was almost instantaneous. Let's hear. It's sizzling. That's what you want to hear when you add mushrooms to a pan. And I'm going to teach you right now the trick to good seared mushrooms. Don't touch them. Leave them where they are. While those are searing for a couple of minutes, this is where it's a good time to prep a couple of raw things that are going to go on top. So I'm just going to give these a rough chop. All right, these mushrooms are smelling fabulous. Yes, they're perfect. I am going to add in now about a cup of corn to my pan. A quick toss. Oh yeah. Nice. Smells incredible. Again, we need smell-o-vision because it's so good. A little bit Now I'm gonna add some olive oil and I'm gonna turn the heat down. All right, gonna just let that heat through nicely while I finish chopping these. Yeah, when something's cooked with love, you taste it. And so I find before I start cooking any meal, this is very yogi meditative of me, but I like to set an intention that I'm cooking this with love and that I hope that whoever eats it, even if it's myself, gets to taste the love coming through. And then it's extra nourishing. All right, I think those mushrooms and corn look amazing and done. Do a couple more quick slices here. Oh, the color of it is incredible. It looks like butter, and it tastes like butter actually. It's one of the richest kinds of avocados. I'm gonna give these a quick little slice. You can, if you're not vegan, you can use regular cheese, but I have a few cheddar slices here. Again, if you're not vegan, you don't have to go plant-based, but I love coconut yogurt in place of sour cream. And would you be in Southern California if you didn't have something called bitchin' sauce on your bowl? Hello, it's so bitchin'. Okay, so we're gonna compile this now. And so the fun thing is that another hat that I wear, not only do I cook recipes, but I also am a professional food photographer. So I actually develop a lot of recipes like this and I like to shoot them for my clients. It's part of why I actually built this kitchen and remodeled, is to be able to work from home and cook and shoot in the same place. So I'm going to be plating this with great intention as well, because pretty soon we're going to be converting this into a quick little photo studio where I'm going to grab some photos of this bowl. And then I just use my fingers, don't mind me. I like a nice generous helping of tofu. And then we're gonna put some beans. Yum. Oh my gosh, this just smells amazing. Okay, and we're gonna grab some beautiful mushrooms and corn. And then we get to have some sort of artistic fun when it comes to how we want this to look. I think not only do we eat with our hearts, so we have love in our food, but we eat with our eyes. So I love to make it vibrant and fresh and beautiful. Eat the rainbow, as they say. So we're gonna put a little bit of color across here, some tomatoes. I like kind of doing it segmented, compartmentalized. Maybe that's the type A personality in me, I don't know, but it's very satisfying. Couple of beautiful slices of avocado. And I like getting the cheese on there while some of this is still warm. Beautiful. A little dollop here of coconut. And the other thing is, this is bitchin' sauce. It's actually it's a nut-based sauce. It can be a little thick, so I thin it out to make it more drizzly and make it more artistic looking. I just put a couple heaping teaspoons in a bowl, grab a tiny bit of water, give that a stir, and it just gets it to a better consistency. Otherwise it's a little gloppy. Nobody wants gloppy. Everybody wants drizzly, no glop. A drizzle. I mean, how fancy is that for your weeknight meal? But it was so easy, right? Anybody can do this, especially if you have amazing appliances from PIRCH. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to have you here in my newly remodeled kitchen that I'm so honored to get to do with PIRCH, creating this beautiful bowl that's nourishing both for the body and the soul. And I hope that you'll follow along with PIRCH. You can see them on social media at PIRCH on Instagram, or visit PIRCH.com to find out where your local showrooms are. And you're also welcome to follow me on Instagram if you like. I am at @VAnnWatson. Thank you for joining us.